the mental technique that awakens your divine power or extinguishes your soul, the invisible error of training the mind without taming the spirit. Close your eyes. Imagine a warrior sharpening his blade day after day, yet forgetting the silence, from which his strike must arise. He becomes fast, precise, brilliant, and utterly lost. The battlefield inside him screams, yet he controls only the outer gesture, not the inner chaos. Many train their minds like this. They polish the intellect, but leave the spirit as an orphan. The spirit is not a beast to be dominated by thought. It is a wind that guides the blade beyond effort. Without it, techniques become noise and mastery, becomes a prison of control. An anxious warrior sharpens his skills, but dulls his essence. He forgets the mind is the servant, not the sword. Spirit must lead. When mind races ahead of the heart, it creates a rhythm that the soul cannot follow. It begins to crave control, certainty, repetition, things the spirit does not inhabit. You become a strategist without presence, a thinker without center. And in this fracture, power escapes. For true power only arises from the place where nothing is forced. Technique alone does not liberate. It binds when not softened by silence. Musashi once said, "In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close, and to take a distance view of close things." This is not about focus, but about stillness. The technique is not in the strike. It is in knowing when not to strike dot. So ask yourself, have you been sharpening the sword of your thoughts while abandoning the breath of your soul? Have you mistaken noise for precision? The mind is a loyal dog, but if left untethered to the spirit, it becomes a wild wolf. Not all mastery is wisdom, and not all effort leads to truth. Asterisk the poison of forced intention. When wanting becomes a vibrational cry of lack asterisk, to desire without wisdom is to drink from an empty cup hoping it will quench your thirst. Many declare intentions with a clenched heart, as if the universe bows to insistence. But the spirit speaks in surrender, not in noise. When you grasp too tightly, you vibrate with fear, not faith. And the universe listens not to words, but to frequency. The hand that forces is the same hand that trembles. When you shout your desires into the void, they echo back as lack. Manifestation is not the act of bending reality with the mind, but of aligning the self with the unseen current that already flows toward you. To walk with the sword unsheathed means to trust the strike that has not yet come. Musashi understood this. The fight is won before the blade moves. The same law applies in the subtle realm. If your intention is a cry of need, it carries the taste of desperation. And desperation closes the door to resonance. The universe gives not to the loud, but to the attuned. The more you want, the more you resist. For desire, when ungrounded, becomes friction. It creates heat, not light. And in this dissonance, even the most sacred intention becomes distortion. Learn the art of quiet want, of holding the vision without strangling it. So I ask you, are your desires being whispered by the soul or screamed by the wounded mind? Do you ask from stillness or demand from fear? In the stillness of true wanting, the path reveals itself, but only to those who can hold the sword without swinging it. Asterisk, silence as a hidden technique. Why overthinking dims your soul? Asterisk, the soul does not speak in arguments or plans. It speaks in pause, in the gentle hush between thoughts. The one who thinks too much has not yet heard the soul's language. He fills every silence with noise, every stillness with strategy. But what is strategy without intuition? Thinking is a tool, not a throne. And yet we crown it daily, letting it sit atop the palace of our being. But the emperor is not the mind. The emperor is the silence beneath it. Musashi knew. A true warrior waits in stillness before he acts. The waiting is not weakness. It is mastery. When thought multiplies, essence disappears. Your energy leaks through the cracks of mental overactivity. You become brilliant, but disembodied, sharp, but shallow. The soul retracts when not invited into the room, and it only enters when the noise has bowed. Do not mistake overthinking for depth. Real depth begins when the thinking ends. The soul enters like fog in a still valley, quiet, patient, whole. If you wish to hear it, you must untrain the noise. Within you, lay down the mind, pick up the breath. Let silence speak. So reflect. Have you been silencing the noise or silencing the soul? Are you thinking your way out of pain or feeling your way into truth? The answer will not shout. It will whisper, but only if you are still enough to listen. Asterisk, the misalignment between mind and breath, the silent enemy of elevated frequency. Asterisk, there is no power in a thought that is not rooted in breath. The mind, left unchecked, cuts without direction. But the breath, the breath is the rhythm of the soul's blade. Without it, the warrior becomes wild, reactive, fragmented. Breath is presence. Breath is anchor, a mind that races ahead. Of breath is like a sword drawn without purpose. It slashes through dreams and wounds the present moment. When you do not breathe consciously, your thoughts scatter into forgotten winds. You lose coherence. You lose command. You lose the now. Musashi taught not only the way of the sword, but the way of inner rhythm. To strike without breath is to die before the battle begins. Your frequency cannot rise if your breath is shallow. To elevate is to synchronize thought, breath, and being in one single motion of stillness. Most forget that breathing is not just survival, it is sacred tuning. Each inhale a call to the divine, each exhale a surrender of control. Without this rhythm, you are merely performing. Spirituality, not embodying it. A quiet breath speaks louder than 1,000 affirmations. Ask yourself now, are your thoughts moving faster than your breath? Is your mind your master, or your breath your guide? Real power does not rush, it breathes. And in that breath, the divine steps forward. Asterisk, beware the technique that promises power without presence. Asterisk, a technique that ignores presence is like a blade with no wielder. Beautiful, sharp, and deadly to its own master. Presence is not an accessory. It is the root of all technique. Without it, practice becomes performance, and performance becomes hollow. Many chase mastery without grounding. They learn rituals, visualize outcomes, repeat sacred phrases, yet remain absent in their own bones. The true warrior does not just know the form. He is the form. Presence is not taught. It is earned through stillness, through grounding. Musashi walked into every duel with the ground beneath him, not illusions above him. Presence is the way the foot feels the earth. It is the attention in your fingertips, the humility in your gaze. Without presence, even the most enlightened technique becomes noise. Technique is not the way. It is the expression of the way. And the way demands that you arrive fully, heart, body, breath, and silence. When you leave yourself, you lose your power. But when you inhabit the moment fully, even your stillness becomes a weapon of light. So reflect. Are you chasing spiritual technique without spiritual presence? Are you performing truth or embodying it? The true path requires you to be here, fully, without rushing to be more. Asterisk, emotional memory coded in the body sabotages the visualizing mind. Asterisk, you may see paradise in your mind, but if your body remembers only storms, your vision becomes a lie. The body is not fooled by imagination. It stores memory in muscle, belief in bone. Your cells carry songs of fear you have never consciously sung. Visualization is powerful, but only when the soil is clean. A flower cannot bloom where poison rests. If your body trembles in old grief, no future vision can take root. The mind may dream, but the body will always return to what it knows, until it is taught to feel differently. Musashi did not fight from thought alone. He trained his body until instinct aligned with spirit. You must do the same. The body must become the ally of your intention, not its traitor. For what good is it to visualize freedom with a body chained to yesterday? To manifest from truth, the body must be emptied of lies. That means listening, feeling, honoring old wounds, not hiding them. Only then can new frequencies inhabit your cells. Only then does visualization become embodiment. So I ask you, are your visions aligned with your body's truth? Or are they decorations on a house still haunted by old ghosts? The body must be heard. Only then will your creations come alive. Fear disguised as faith. How mental affirmations reinforce vibrational dissonance. The one who repeats, "I am free," with trembling breath is not free, but pleading for it. Words, when not rooted in coherence, become chains dressed as mattress. To affirm what the body denies is to shout into the void and hear only echo. The soul does not respond to noise. It responds to resonance. When your heart contracts as you speak affirmations, that is not belief, it is resistance. The more you repeat, the more you reveal the fracture. Musashi taught that the sword must be silent before the strike. His silence is coherence. When your being is split, your words slice you first. True affirmation is not mental, it is vibrational. It rises from a knowing that requires no rehearsal. The one who truly believes does not affirm. He breathes the truth. He carries it without needing to announce it. And the world adjusts around that quiet certainty. The danger of mental affirmation lies not in the words themselves, but in their emptiness. Without inner truth, repetition is just spiritual armor, shiny but hollow. The universe responds to what you are, not what you say. Speak less. Align more. So ask, do your affirmations spring from truth or from the fear of its absence? Are you speaking to convince the world or to drown out your own doubt? Where there is coherence, few words are needed. Where there is dissonance, no words will suffice. The silence between two thoughts, where divine power lives and technique dissolves. There is a space too subtle for words, too sacred for thought, the breath between two thoughts. That is where the divine hides. That is where Musashi found the sword that cannot be seen. Technique ends there. The self begins there. And all power rises from that emptiness. Most fear that space, so they fill it. With analysis, with plans, with the constant hum of a mind unwilling to let go. But silence is not absence. It is presence at its purest. And in that moment between thoughts, the soul steps forward, uncloaked, complete. You cannot fake this silence. You must descend into it. And when you do, you realize the best techniques dissolve in that void. They were only ever bridges. The real path begins when you stop building and start listening. And listening only happens in stillness. Musashi did not swing endlessly. He waited, he listened, and struck from a place beyond strategy. In that same place, the divine flows. You don't summon it. You make room for it. You clear the debris of constant thought and stand in the sacred pause. So, I ask you now, have you touched that space between your thoughts? Have you dared to meet the moment before mind awakens? The divine does not speak in lectures. It breathes. Between your thoughts, enter that space, and you will never again need technique to know power. The body is sword. Mental technique without physical alignment distorts vibration. The mind may envision flight, but the body dreads chains. Many seek the heights of spirit, forgetting the ground they stand on. But a sword without balance is a danger, even to its master. Your body is not separate from your vibration. It is the vibration made flesh. When you neglect the physical, you unground the spiritual. Your thoughts may soar, but your breath stumbles. Musashi's sword was not just guided by thought. It was rooted in the spine, the stance, the breath. A warrior without body awareness is like a prayer without meaning. Mental clarity must be anchored in the hips, the bones, the step. Each thought must ripple through the body like wind through trees, not a storm of fragments, but a symphony of form. When mind and body are split, your energy scatters. You are present, but not whole. Technique, when divorced from embodiment, becomes brittle. It breaks under pressure. Presence is not mental, it is cellular. Your body must feel what your mind declares. Only then do you vibrate as one field. Only then does your manifestation sharpen like a true blade. Ask yourself, are you thinking your truth or moving in it? Does your spine know the prayer your lips speak? You are the sword, but only when body and mind strike as one. The practice of emptiness. How to manifest without. Attachment to outcome. To manifest without attachment is to aim without tension. To trust the arrow once it leaves your hand. Many wish to control the invisible, forgetting that spirit is not commanded. It is received. The greatest technique is emptiness. It holds everything without clinging to anything. Musashi knew. The relaxed hand strikes truest. The more you grip, the more you shake. The more you control, the less you channel. To manifest is to release, with clarity, but no demand, with vision, but no desperation. It is an offering, not a contract. The practice is simple. Breathe into your desire, then let it go like wind through open fingers. Visualize the end, yes, but stand in the now, complete. Do not lean forward into the wish. Lean inward into your being. Let the field respond in its own sacred time. This is not passivity. It is mastery. The arrow knows its path. Your only task is to align the shot, then trust. The true warrior releases with peace, not tension. And what returns is always what matches your stillness, not your striving God. So ask, can you want with softness? Can you intend without gripping? In emptiness, all things arise. And the soul remembers, we were never meant to force the divine, only to become quiet enough for it to act through us.